When the Children Are Asleep and When I Marry Mr. Snow has earned Lindsay Mendez Best Supporting Actress for the Drama Desk Awards.
Yay!
What has been the most humbling experience in your career?
This one. Well, I mean, just the kind of how much I revered this score, this show, the role. I've never played anything like this before, and it was scary to start. And every day I just kind of reminded myself that it's a process, and I was pretty petrified the whole way through, and I felt like I was going back to basics again and kind of relearning how to be an actor in this process. So.
Well, I can guarantee you, if you went through the votes, you probably won by 96%.
Oh my gosh, I doubt that.
No, I don't. Seriously, your performance was beloved by the Drama Desk.
Oh wow, well that means so much to me. I love doing this part, and I'm just thrilled that people are enjoying it, you know?
Now, a journey of a show goes from point A to point B.
Right.
But now it's gone to point C, the Drama Desk Awards and
Yes.
the Tony Awards.
Yes.
What is that journey for you?
Oh boy, a step at a time, I guess. I mean, right now I just am trying to keep my feet on the ground and enjoy all of these events and still do my show 8 times a week. That's been like a journey in itself for me.
How you get sleep is beyond me.
Yeah, and sleep and just self-care and seeing my husband and all of that. But I think now that we're nearing the finish, I'm really trying to savor every moment, and that's my plan for the next few days.
Now, I know you mentor young children and people going into theater.
Yes.
What advice would you give people right now in going into acting?
I would say that Broadway is a street. It's not the end-all be-all. You can have a profession in the arts in a lot of different places and in a lot of different mediums. So don't limit yourself to thinking, I want to be a Broadway star. Think bigger than that, and you'll get to fulfill your dreams. I'd say definitely more swiftly, but also you never know what your path's gonna end up being.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Oh, of course. Thank you so much.
Winning the DeLuca Award for choreography, Justin Peck for his balletic Carousel. Justin, what has been the most humbling experience in your entire career?
In my entire career, probably this moment right now, to be honest. Getting a chance to interact with this community and rub shoulders with artists that I admire and respect so deeply has been a huge honor. So.
Getting from point A to point B to the Drama Desk is very hard for a show. Tell me about your journey with Carousel.
Yeah, I mean, Carousel started a few years ago as a conversation amongst a creative team, and it's been a huge focus for me probably for the last 2 years, and I'm lucky because our producers have supported and invested in the development of the choreography of the show in an extraordinary way. Most productions don't get the amount of time and space and energy as what we received for this. So I'm very grateful to them to I guess just put priority and focus in the movement of the show.
Now, theater and the art world take on trends. What would you say the trends have been for this year?
The trends for this year? That's a good question. I've been so in the tunnel of the show. No,
okay, so in the themes for the show,
maybe a two-part evening theatrical experience, with angels and Harry Potter and who knows what's next, but that seems to be in a great way something that audiences are craving, and people think that nowadays with the average attention span that they wouldn't be able to handle something like that, but it's actually the opposite is true. So that's kind of exciting, I think, for the theater community.
Now, what would you like to do next? If you could take on a project, what would that be?
I think I would like to develop a new musical that takes a real emphasis and root in movement and storytelling, and see where I can go with that. So we'll see.
And what's next for you? Do we know?
For me, I'm trying to just get through one day at a time at this point, but I'll be working a little bit at New York City Ballet over the next year, and yeah, hopefully going on a vacation this summer for a week or something. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, we'll see.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Best play this year? Let's get him closer. Best play this year is Joshua Harmon's Admissions. Joshua, this is a really interesting play because so many people can take it so many ways. How do you want people to take this play?
I hope that the play starts a conversation. I think the play is about subject matters that make people uncomfortable and that are hard to talk about. And so my hope is that you try to start the conversation that people are sometimes reluctant to have, and to help people, the play is holding up a mirror. So it's trying to get people to see themselves and to examine themselves and to think about what they're seeing.
Well, I loved it. I honestly thought it was a play about the liberals exploding, and I think that needs to happen. So for me, I'm neither liberal nor conservative, but it seems that we've gone one way and there's no conversation, and yet your play gives that.
Well, I think a lot of times it's very easy to point the finger at somebody else, and so this play is trying to create a space for self-examination and self-reflection, and if there's injustice in the world, how am I contributing to it? What can or should I be doing about it? That's the conversation I hope people have.
What has been the most humbling experience in your entire career?
Getting produced. I mean, there were so many years of just writing plays, not having anything happen to them. So just having people commit to, human beings committing their time and their energy, producers committing their money. That's the most humbling part.
And every year theater takes on a theme. What would you say the themes of this year's theater were?
Well, I don't like the whole season of.
What do you think this season is trying to say, or in part?
I think it's hard to say because I've been in production, so I haven't seen as much as I probably should, but I think what's exciting is just the breadth and depth of the amount of different kinds of things that are happening, from SpongeBob SquarePants to little, that's what tonight was about. So that was exciting. Yeah.
And what's up next for you?
I am a week into previews for a new play at the Roundabout. I'm a little exhausted, but doing well. So.
And what's it called?
It's called Skin Tight.
We look forward to seeing it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Hi, Andre. How are you? Good. Come this way. Get close. We could have danced all night because best musical revival this year was My Fair Lady, and we're with Andre Bishop from Lincoln Center. Lincoln Center Theater. What has been the most humbling experience in your entire career?
I've had so many humbling experiences that I can't think of one. I think one's career in the theater is a very mixed bag for all of us. There are moments of joy and happiness and success and ecstasy, and there are many, I'm afraid to say many more moments of worry and anxiety and unhappiness that makes you humble, or it keeps you humble. Because, that old saw that they say, you're only as good as your last show, is so pathetically true.
Absolutely. What has been the most joyous moment of running Lincoln Center Theater?
The most joyous moment for me of running Lincoln Center Theater has been to prove to the world that the Beaumont stage was workable. Because for many, many years, by that I mean 30 or 40 years, and many other administrations, it was thought to be unworkable.
Seriously?
Absolutely seriously. No one remembers this now, but when Bernie Gersten and Gregory Mosher, my predecessor, came, and then I came 4 years later, the task was, if you guys don't make this place work now, we're going to turn it into an indoor garage and indoor skating rink, because every other administration could not deal with that large thrust configuration. And we dealt with it, and I have to say, dealt with it well.
You made it so that I never ever thought that there was a problem.
Well, it was all about finding directors and designers who knew how to use it and were not afraid of it, and actors who also knew how to act in it. And knowing what sort, I mean, the irony is that we've had huge success with doing musicals in the Beaumont, and who would have thought that 30 years ago? Me too, but no one knew that in the old days.
If there was one show that you could bring back and revive next, what would that be?
You mean not a show that we've already done? Yes. Another show. I've sort of run out of revivals, to be honest. I don't know. I thought of doing Showboat, but the book of it is very problematic. We've done Carousel, South Pacific, and King and I thought of doing Carmen Jones, but actually the CSC is doing it. I can't really think of one.
I think you should do Baker Street or Tavarich.
Well, I saw both of them, which shows you dates me, boy. Baker Street was, I thought, a good show, and I love Fritz Weaver in it. Tavarich was a mixed thing, but that famous Charleston number when Vivian Leigh, because partly it was Vivian Leigh, picked up her skirts and danced. It was,
Wilkes-Barre, PA is the name of the song.
Was that the name of the song? I thought I was going to go out of my mind seeing Vivian Leigh dance so beautifully. I remember that Tavarich moment vividly.
Well, my mom was a huge collector of musical theater albums, and these are the ones that I've always wanted to see.
Well, then you probably remember, I think in Tavarich, not in Baker Street, in the old days they used to occasionally have souvenir programs stuck in a wedge with the original cast album. Did you have that?
Yes, I did.
I still have them.
So do I.
Oh, so I miss that.
So do I, but I love what you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, people don't think of doing, or Mass. Love to see Mass.
Yeah, that would be a good one for